And this WrestleTalk news, NXT disappointed with WWE, Daniel Bryan to AEW, New Japan's Kota Ibushi taken ill, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news, or I will get Roman Reigns to cut a really nice promo on you.
I don't even know what I'd do in my life without you.
Support WrestleTalk!
Now I know we've got a load of huge wrestling stories to cover today, and I'll get to that very shortly, but I want to spend the first part of this video finally talking about a genuine, really significant problem with how WWE is influencing younger viewers. Putting out action figure playsets that directly encourage kids to go on destructive rampages and tear apart public service vehicles. Britain's newspaper of record, the Daily Star, is reporting fuming mother Sabrina Fitzsimmons, 41, has blasted WWE's wrecking ambulance vehicle playset, complete with over 8 breakaway pieces for the ultimate wrecking action and a spring-loaded stretcher that shoots out of the back. Whoa! As massively inappropriate, which crosses a line of ethics and morals, arguing it advocates violence against this country's beloved NHS and all of its local medical facilities, which is extra offensive during a pandemic. There's not even a "don't try this at home" warning on the box. Mattel, the company behind the toy, hasn't replied for comment. Oh, they've got oil on their hands though. So please, when you see children start manically pulling the doors off of ambulances they see in the street, beating its roof like a war boy's drum, and howling for the privatization of the NHS, just buy them a Playmobil next year. But WWE doesn't just have heat with totally rational mums. In the logical conclusion of its extreme backstage politics, WWE now has heat with WWE. After a month of tryout matches for the main roster, a rather humiliating process itself given that's what NXT is supposed to be for, current NXT champion Karrion Kross made his Raw debut on Monday night. Stripped of his special entrance, his real-life wife valet Scarlett Bordeaux, and in just under 2 minutes, his undefeated streak of never being pinned in WWE. This was widely criticised by fans, and I called it the company's biggest creative mistake since The Fiend losing to Seth Rollins at 2019's Hell in a Cell. This wasn't just a burial of Kross. By brand extension, it felt like a burial of all of NXT. And we're not alone for thinking that. According to Fightful Select, NXT talent themselves feel that way too. Several NXT talent told the site there was shock and frustration to their current champion losing to Jeff Hardy on Monday, with one source saying it felt like a message was being sent. While they didn't explain what that message was, the speculation is that Vince McMahon is angry at NXT for losing to AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars. Kross losing so easily on the main roster while holding the NXT Championship belt was said to be met with significant frustration backstage, as many of the top talent in NXT, like Finn Balor, Adam Cole, and Johnny Gargano, have spent the last year building this guy up to look as dominant as possible. The general mood, however, was said to be not mad, but disappointed, as they felt this represented how the NXT brand was viewed by higher-ups as a whole. What do you think is going on with Vince and NXT? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to as many people as I can for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live, from out of nowhere. But how did Kross feel about it backstage? Fightful Select also notes Kross appeared to be in good spirits backstage after the match, which is probably the best reaction you can have to stop being buried even further. Fall and pray! On the inside, AEW star Matt Hardy pointed out on Twitter that Karrion shouldn't even be the champion anymore. Why does Kross still have the title? I thought my brother won it. I also said yesterday that NXT is actually a really great developmental system, just not for the main roster, for AEW. And according to the recently released Araya Davari, that's a sentiment seemingly shared backstage. While the wrestlers would never admit this publicly, Davari confessed AEW is talked about tons behind the scenes in WWE, saying most of the guys in 205 Live or NXT have a lot of friends there from their independent days. The also recently released Buddy Murphy admitted he didn't even watch Raw for the last year, staying up to date with his own company using our reviews instead.
I would go on YouTube, and I think it was on, I think it's called WrestleTalk or something like that, and they would review the show in 5 minutes. That's how I kept up with the product. I couldn't watch it.
And in true WWE style, after realizing how much they need live fans in attendance during the pandemic era, they already seem to be resenting them, filing a trademark for the catchphrase, "complaining is not conversation." And I agree. Complaining is for YouTube videos. The other criticised booking decision from Monday's Raw was Keith Lee making his big return in the most WWE way possible, losing in 5 minutes in his home state to set up a more important angle with Goldberg. Thankfully though, PW Insider now notes Lee is cleared from whatever issue has kept him off TV since February, clarifying his absence was not a creative decision. It wasn't all bad on Raw though. Following Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair's excellent Money in the Bank match, PW Insider adds Ripley is now officially considered a babyface backstage after months of oddly heelish booking, and Nikki ASH closed the show cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase to win the Raw Women's Championship. According to WrestlingNews.co, McMahon has become a big fan of Nikki's superhero character, and she is beloved by everyone in the locker room, with a lot of merchandise ideas apparently in the pipeline for her. McMahon is reportedly just as high on Toni Storm, who is set to debut as a babyface on this Friday's SmackDown, with Vince feeling she can become one of the brand's big stars. Just gonna set a reminder for 3 weeks from this Friday then. Monday's very newsworthy episode of Raw increased viewership 20% from last week's near-historic low, pulling in 1.9 million viewers, its highest figure since WrestleMania and the third best of the year so far. Hoping to continue that, WWE quickly announced the Summer of Cena, which grates pretty hard on my CM Punk-loving Mark Hart, promoting him for 15 dates from now to SummerSlam, at which point he'll leave to make a new movie. One person who won't be around though is the Fiend Bray Wyatt. PW Insider is reporting there is still no timetable for his return to active duty for the company. Apart from WrestleMania in April, Wyatt hasn't actually wrestled in the ring since December's Inferno match at TLC. The original plan was for Bray to beat Orton, but it was changed that weekend. Perhaps, and this is my speculation, if WWE realised Wyatt wouldn't be around for a time following the show. As for the actual cause, PW Insider's sources say there is a specific reason for Wyatt not being around, but won't say what it is. Just saying the belief is that it's not a creative issue. Daniel Bryan to AEW confirmed. Given all the WWE returns this week already, Goldberg, Keith Lee, fans, Finn Balor, Alexa Bliss's supernatural puppet, Lily, you might think that other big name that went missing a few months ago could be showing up for SummerSlam Season 2. Apparently not, according to PW Insider, which is reporting there has been no discussion of Bryan returning to WWE and he is not listed on the company's roster, specifically noting he's not in the talent list recently put together for licensing and merchandising plans through 2021 to 2022, adding he's not in any of the future Mattel action figure wave releases. But who's gonna drive my slambulance? Not that WWE's licensing and merchandising plans are 100% future-proof though. The obvious speculation then is if Bryan isn't planned for a WWE return anytime soon, then could he be showing up in All Elite Wrestling potentially for their next big pay-per-view, All Out, on 5th of September? And that isn't just fan speculation. As PW Insider notes, it's a fear shared by some in WWE too. They say they haven't heard anything about an AEW move, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen, as that's exactly what pro wrestling would tell you. A month before Sting showed up on Dynamite last December though, WWE removed all his merchandise from their store, and a quick search shows a lot of Bryan merchandise still available, some at full price. But it's a fantasy booking scenario that's hard to shake. We all thought Bryan would show up at the pre-AEW event All In back in 2018, but he re-signed with WWE instead. Dave Meltzer did say he had a feeling AEW were planning something huge for the next few months on a recent podcast, which is sometimes his not so subtle way of saying, I've heard something that I can't tell you. Or it could be nothing at all. What do you think Bryan will do next? Is he just going to be a family man for a bit, return to WWE, or join AEW and pursue his lifelong goal of wrestling around the world in loads of dream matches? Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully one of those dream matches will one day include Kota Ibushi, but New Japan have just announced he'll miss the next 3 dates this week because he's been diagnosed with aspiration pneumonia. The company explained this was not a side effect of a COVID vaccination for which he's tested negative. A decision will be made on his recovery whether he can face Shingo Takagi for the IWGP World Heavyweight title at Sunday's huge Wrestle Grand Slam show in the Tokyo Dome. New Japan have also made a surprise new talent signing. The former Aiden English from WWE, now going by the name Drama King Matt Morris, will be joining its English broadcast team for their resurgent show in LA on the 14th of August. Teasing, could his background also lead to in-ring involvement? Time will tell! That is such an anime way of teasing the next episode. Not to be outdone with having an ex-WWE star debut for them, Impact got there first. At their tapings last night, Drama King joined the promotion, becoming an act with Deonna Purrazzo as the homecoming king and queen. Now it's time for Tempest to review NXT in about 5 minutes. I bet they address Kross being jobbed out on the main roster. I hate you, Tempest.
I'm the NXT champion Jeff Hardy, and I'm here to review this week's NXT in about 5 minutes.
Stop.
Who are you?
I'm your rule-loving twin brother, Ref Hardy.
Haha.
I'm here to tell you that Jeff Hardy didn't win the NXT championship.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he beat the NXT champion for no reason, in 2 minutes.
Of course, that's just goddamn perfect.
Oh,
Nothing
dear.
makes sense around here. This is why we don't want NXT call-ups. When one happens, this happens. So this week's NXT opened with Samoa Joe coming out to confront the still NXT champion Karrion Kross. And very quickly, William Regal came down to the ring and told Samoa Joe that last week he was attacked not as management, but as a referee. But that's still supposed to be a bad thing. Karrion Kross shouldn't be able to just attack referees and go unreprimanded. The performances were good in this segment, but this didn't make much sense. I'm going to be trying something different this week and reviewing each individual segment and rating them 1 to 5 like I would normally do the entire show. This one gets probably about a 3. It was short and it was carried by the performances, but the actual content of this didn't make much sense. Wearing a 13-year-old shirt and 3 pantyhose on each arm. Nothing makes sense. The first match on the show saw Kushida and Bobby Fish team up to face Roderick Strong and Tyler Rust of the Diamond Mine. This was a really long match. They seemed content on this show to just stretch out these matches that would normally go about 10 minutes into much longer matches. This went about 20. The action was fine here, but I've not been impressed by the Diamond Mine's presentation so far. They're just a group of guys. They haven't shown themselves to be anything different, and now they've been beaten by Kushida and Bobby Fish? I don't get it. That being said, I will give this match a 4 out of 5. It was pretty enjoyable. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes arrived at the building earlier in the night, and while I wasn't a big fan of how this dynamic was portrayed last week, this week was much better. Grimes was doing his best to remain happy-go-lucky while he was still taking orders from LA Knight, a much better dynamic than last week where he just didn't do the job. Drake Maverick tried to help Cameron Grimes carry LA Knight's bags, but LA Knight didn't like this, leading to their match later in the show. This was a much better segment. This gets a 4 out of 5 as well. Now the next match was between Frankie Monet and JC Jane. This really wasn't much of a match. It was a quick squash, about 2 minutes long. I'm giving this a 2 out of 5. Nothing wrong with it, but not long enough to be any better. Next up, we had another really long match between Kyle O'Reilly and Austin Theory. Kyle O'Reilly was showing a new, more aggressive side of himself that he alluded to last week. The two went back and forth with Theory hitting a really nice neck breaker, but ultimately it was Kyle hitting the knee drop on Theory's legs and locking in a heel hook for the submission win. This was a really good match. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Not a lot to get invested in, but still a good match. Legado del Fantasma came out for the Mariachi Madness musical, and I'm sorry for anybody who tuned in wanting to see this because this was just blatant false advertising. They just didn't do it. All 4 members of Hit Row talked a little bit of trash, with Isaiah Swerve Scott saying that last year Legado del Fantasma kept him from being Cruiserweight champion, so now he's got his own squad, and the two teams squared off with Isaiah Swerve Scott and Santos Escobar going toe-to-toe. Escobar tried to hit Swerve with a guitar, but B-Fab prevented that from happening, allowing Swerve to deck Escobar and hit Joaquin Wilde with the guitar, leaving Legado del Fantasma laying. I've spoken at length before about how much I love Hit Row. I just think they have so much charisma, and mixing that in with Santos Escobar, who's also very charismatic, that's a good time. This is a 4 out of 5 segment. Very good. We had the next match in the NXT Breakout Tournament as Andre Chase took on Odyssey Jones. This was a pretty short match. Andre Chase went for a crossbody to the outside, and it looked like Odyssey Jones meant to catch him and then drop him on the announce desk, but the two fell down and Andre Chase landed right on his head. This was scary. The two were able to collect themselves as Jones just picked him up and dropped him on the announce table before being pushed into the post, and then they got back into the ring, and Jones hit a big running splash into the corner and a crossbody before hitting a modified side suplex for the win. While Jones does look like he'll be getting a big push, I thought this match on the whole was kind of sloppy, in addition to just being short. This is another 2 out of 5 for me. Backstage, MSK was being interviewed, and before they were able to answer the question of what MSK stands for, the feed was hijacked by Imperium, who said that they wanted to bring back respect to pro wrestling and all the Imperium stuff. It's the same old story, before they cut back to MSK saying, and that's why we're called MSK. The MSK stuff was pretty funny. I do like the idea of us just never knowing what MSK stands for, but being hijacked by Imperium is just kind of odd. Why does Imperium have the power to hijack a broadcast like this? If you think about things a little too much, they become a little less fun. So that's a lesson for all of you. Never think. But on the whole, I did still like this. This was funny. I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5. The next match was the aforementioned bout between Drake Maverick and LA Knight, with Cameron Grimes in LA Knight's corner. Now, I really liked about half of what they did here, and then didn't like the other half. LA Knight kept getting distracted as he wanted Cameron Grimes to hold up the $1 Million Championship above his head and show it off for the people at ringside, but that allowed Drake Maverick to roll him up and get the pin. I don't think this win for Drake Maverick's really gonna mean anything. If they have a $1 Million Championship match on the show next week, then I'm totally wrong, and I'm very happy to see this go this way. Knight beat Maverick down and then said that he wanted Cameron Grimes to hit a shot too, and demanded he do so as a man of his word. He was reluctant, but Cameron Grimes did finally hit a punch on Drake Maverick. Forcing a babyface to do heel things, I love that kind of stuff. Absolutely love it. I'll wait to see how it all pans out to fully commit to how I feel about it, but this was about a 3 out of 5. Not bad. We got the main event match as the NXT Women's Championship was defended by Raquel Gonzalez against Xia Li. Raquel was showing her power in the early goings of the match as she lawn darted Xia Li into the post at ringside, went back out to deliver more offense but missed a boot, and Xia Li wrapped Raquel's leg around the post, leading into the first commercial break. They went back and forth for a while, but then Raquel hit a really cool looking twisting Vader bomb, which although it looked cool, appeared to just completely knock the wind out of Xia Li. The ref and the doctors had to attend to Xia Li for a few minutes, which really killed the flow of the match, but eventually she was able to get up and Xia Li was hit with the choke bomb by Raquel Gonzalez for the win. This was obviously not to the level of some of the great NXT main events we've seen in recent weeks and months. It was fine, but the injury really killed the pacing. I'm still gonna go 3 out of 5 for this. It was fine while it was going, and it could have been better, but unfortunately it was what it was. And finally, after waiting around the whole show, Samoa Joe went down to the ring knowing Karrion Kross was now in the building and demanded he come out to beat his ass before Karrion Kross showed up on the Tron, showing that he had beaten up William Regal backstage. Jeff Hardy wouldn't do that. Jeff Hardy would be a proper NXT champion. Samoa Joe ran out to the parking lot as Karrion Kross drove away. This was a really short segment, but still good. I'll go 3 out of 5 for that, and on the whole, I'll go 3 out of 5 for the whole show. At times, this was a really bland episode of NXT, where the good wrestling really carried it through, but the emotional attachment just wasn't there. And that just about wraps it up for me. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this show, make sure you go over to WrestleTalk Podcast later on today, where myself and Chopper Pete Quinnell will be reviewing this episode of NXT in depth. I've been Tempest the Wrestler, reminding you that Jeff Hardy is a proper NXT champion. Do not try and change my mind.
WWE have a history of subjecting their roster to cruel and unusual punishments for infractions. Lana took to talk as Jericho recently to reveal how she was taken off TV for months when someone leaked an engagement picture of her and Rusev to TMZ. And while that's incredibly stupid because wrestling isn't real, honestly, she might have gotten off lucky because the WWE history books are unfortunately stuffed with cases of stars messing up and getting their pats on the bottom in front of millions and millions of people